All right, so on today at 30 teams in 30 days, we're talking about the New York Knicks. Not a lot of moves in free agency. I kind of expected them to probably go after a guy like Fred VanVleet. They needed a guard. They have a lot of forwards right now. They just drafted Obi Toppin. They added another forward to this long list of forwards. They have what's going on with the Knicks? I mean, they still keep their cap flexibility. They have all their picks and stuff. Could they trade for somebody? What can the Knicks do?
Uh, I don't know. They can't do much. We heard they wanted to go after Gordon Hayward. I think they probably would offer him the same amount as Charlotte. Maybe not the years, but maybe annually, probably like 2 years, 32 years, 16 or something like that. But obviously, he didn't want to go to the Knicks, and that's the bottom line. Nobody wants to go to the Knicks. Like I said, I thought they were going to go after Van Vliet, but I guess they didn't want to throw a lot of money at Van Vliet. I mean, I like Fred Van Vliet, but if you're going to be throwing him over $100 million, you might as well save your money because I think if you're the Knicks, I don't think he carries you anywhere. I think you're still going to be in the same situation you are. Maybe you get a high end seed, but I still don't think you make the playoffs. Yeah, they drafted Obi Topin. If it was the right pick, I thought it was okay pick. I mean, you had some guys. You had Tyrese Halliburton still on the board. You had some other guys still on the board. I thought they could have taken. But Obi Topin, he's box office. He's like the most superstar name other than LaMelo that is coming into this NBA season as a rookie. He was the number one player in college. Last year, he led Dayton to number three seed in the NCAA. So I thought it was I can't blame them for taking a pick. I really can't blame them, especially being in New York. You need a box office attraction. But I mean, this team, like I'm sick of the Knicks, like everybody else. Just like Knicks fans, I'm sick of the Knicks. I don't even want to talk about the Knicks. Like you got RJ Barrett, you got Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox has been playing terrible. Frank Ntilikina has been playing terrible. Dennis Smith has been playing terrible. RJ Barrett just didn't live up to expectations his rookie season. You got Julius Randle. It looked like Julius Randle is going to be running the point for this team because I don't know who else is going to be running the point. If you're telling me Alfred Payton and Dennis Smith Jr. going to be running the point for your team, you're just not going to be a good team. Like that's the reality of that situation. You still got Mitchell Robinson. I'm hoping that they trade maybe Randall and Portis. So they could just have Mitchell Robinson and Obi Toppin in that front court because that log jam they have in that front court, it doesn't even make sense to me right now. That's the only reason why I think the Obi Toppin pick was kind of skeptical because your front court was already clogged, but I don't know. They need a point guard. I see they got Austin Rivers. He's probably going to be starting for this team because everyone else they're just not good at the guard position. And I'm looking at this team. I'm thinking about Tom Thibodeau, and I'm thinking like, yeah, he's a good coach. He's a defensive minded coach. But if you're the Knicks, you can play defense, but the offense was terrible last year. It was terrible the year before, and I think it's going to be terrible again this year. And Tom Thibodeau is not necessarily a guy that coaches offense. He's strictly a defensive minded coach. So I think they're going to struggle to score again. I think the guys are going to be worn out by Thibodeau's his mentality and his coaching style. And I just think the Knicks are going to be bad again. I don't know what they do to improve this team.
Yeah, the Knicks is definitely kind of it's a weird situation there, and them. Everyone's saying they drafted Obi Toppin for box office. Like there's not going to be any fans in the arena. And I don't think he makes anybody want to watch Knicks games because they're still gonna be bad. And I feel like they just missed out. Last year was their chance. Last year was Zion, then Jamaran, and then it was a big drop off, and then RJ Barrett. I feel like if they had done either Zion or Ja, like that would have been a huge deal for them because then they have someone to build around. They have that cornerstone player to build around. Right now, they don't have that guy. And I think that's what they need to find. They need to find somebody who they can build around. Obi Toppin, is he gonna be that guy? We don't know yet. Only time will tell. But it doesn't look like he's gonna be that guy. It looks like he's just another showpiece added to this puzzle. And I think the next they should probably try and trade for Russell Westbrook. I feel like Westbrook would this is the ideal situation for a guy like Russell Westbrook. You give him the keys to this car, and you give him a bunch of guys, and you let him do his thing. He'll get this team to the eighth seed. He'll will this team to um to the playoffs inside the Eastern Conference. And this is prime Russell Westbrook territory. He said, okay, he wants his own team, and he wants just give me anybody, and I'm gonna go down ball and work hard all the time. I feel like them trading for Russell Westbrook it'll make them better, because he'll be by far the best player on this team, and anybody you're giving up to get him, like, is what Kevin Knox. You probably have to give up all the young players. They're not that good. I don't think you give up Obi Toppin. You probably try to keep him, but I don't know. The Knicks. I I thought they were gonna try and get Fleet, but they didn't do that. And I heard they weren't that high on Van Vliet, but I'm kind of glad they didn't really just throw a bunch of money at him just to get someone to come to the Knicks. But they, like I said, they're playing this kind of smart. They still have their flexibility for next offseason, when all of LeBron and Kawhi them are still free agents and stuff. So I mean, who knows?
Let's stop. The Knicks are not getting any top free agent like in the next 5 years. Let's be realistic here now. I mean, yeah, they could trade for Russell Westbrook, but I don't know who they give up. The only persons on their books after this year is Julius Randle, you got RJ Barrett, you got one more, you have Kevin Knox, you have Obi Toppin, you have Mitchell Robinson. That is literally the only guys on their books after the 2021 season. So I'm looking at this team and I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of cap space, but you're gonna have to sign a lot of deals to a lot of okay players, like you did again. I didn't even say good players. I said okay players, because let's be honest, no good player wants to go to Knicks. If I'm a guy, if I'm free agent, I'm looking at this team. After next season, I'm saying, okay, Julius Randle, he got one more year. Then what I got? RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson. Like, come on, like, let's be realistic. Nobody wants to join a team, and yeah, Westbrook, he can be a good addition for them. I'm still not even sure if they make the playoffs, because I think this team is so terrible, and I think Westbrook and Tom Thibodeau will clash heads, because Westbrook does not like to play defense, and Thibodeau is one of those guys. He don't care who you are. He will, if you don't play defense, you're gonna be in his doghouse for the most part. That's Thibodeau's style. So, and I think the potential for him and Thibodeau clashing, I think that's something to look out for if he goes to the Knicks. And if I'm the Rockets, why do I do this trade? If I'm doing this trade, you got to give me RJ Barrett, and the Knicks are not going to give up on RJ Barrett. Of course, so you got to give me RJ Barrett. You got to give me probably 3 firsts, and then you could probably got to give me Julius Randle as well, because like this team is terrible. They don't have any assets. Like the Knicks are just, it's just a terrible franchise at this point. I think it's time to call it a terrible franchise. And I just don't know what do they do. Like, I wanted them to get Gordon Hayward, honestly, because I mean, if they had gone Hayward, it would have been, yeah, I think Gordon Hayward had the chance to at least carry them to the playoffs, being that forward, because you need to solidify that forward position. I think at point guard you could stick in a lot of okay guys at point guard, just to run off. And I don't think you need a superstar point guard, but if you those forward positions in there, made those positions where LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George, Kevin Durant, the young guys, you got the Tatum's, like those forward positions, Siakam, that is position where you need your best player to be. And at this point, if they had signed Gordon Hayward, it would have been a good look for them. It would have been a starting point. But the fact that they're going another offseason, not signing any, not even superstars, not even star, you didn't even sign any good players in this offseason. I'm thinking, if I'm the Knicks and I'm in next, come on, Knicks. Let's be realistic. Nobody is coming to your team. You just need to throw money at some guys. That's okay. You need to be realistic with your situation. You're not going to be a top 5 seed in the East probably for the next 5 years. You're going to be a fringe playoff team. And even if you do make it to playoffs, you're going to get swept in the first round. So you just need to at least get there. I don't think you should just suck and suck and suck and suck and suck until you get that one superstar, because the more you suck, the less likely a superstar is going to come. You need to at least start somewhere. You need to at least build on something. Just try to get the 8 seed. Do something. Don't just sit around and have your team just being terrible just because you didn't land a superstar. Like come on, we gotta be realistic.
Yeah, they I what I like I agree with you, but I like that they're keeping their cap flexibility, and I feel like that is good that they're not giving up. Like you don't want to just go and get some okay guys, like of lead and give them the max. Say, all right, yeah, come here, let's try to be competitive. You sign like let's say they sign Fleet, Ibaka, and probably another free agent, probably like Danilo Gallinari, and okay, yeah, we'll be kind of competitive in the season, but those guys aren't going to get you to, ultimately where you want to be. You might make the playoffs. Yeah, that's a step in the right direction, but then you're locked into those guys. But so I like what what they're doing there. They still haven't, like I said, they haven't found that cornerstone piece that they need to build around, and they still have a lot of flexibility, and they still have all their picks going forward. And like I feel like Houston will be interested if the Knicks say, okay, they'll give you three future firsts because those first round picks are going to be in the lottery. It's a Knicks pick, so it doesn't really get in the top three. It always lands in that 5, 6, 7 range. So you might have to live with that. But you get in the lottery, you get a couple lottery picks. If you get like three first rounders from the Knicks. So I feel like that would pique Houston's interest to send Houston out. But I mean, in terms of like what they would get for Westbrook, like right now, I don't think the Knicks don't really have much to offer. But I feel like ultimately is a good idea for them to like not just throw all that money out. They're still flexible, and that's a really good thing.
Yeah, what's the point of being flexible for 5 straight years if nobody's coming? At some point, you gotta win some games. What if the Clippers did that? What if the Clippers say we have a super tank? No, it doesn't. It does not make any sense. Like guys are not going to want to come there unless you're at least competitive. Nobody wants to go to a team that did not make the playoff the previous year. Nobody wants to do that. The only person that probably wants to do it is Russell Westbrook because we know he want to be a one-man show, but nobody wants to do that. Like come on, that doesn't make any sense to me. You can't just be bad waiting on that star. The more you suck, the less likely people are going to come. Now, if you're in a winning situation, if you remember the Boston Celtics had zero superstars. They were making the playoff. Al Horford, look, Al Horford was a top free agent. He was the second top free agent on the market. He came. Gordon Hayward came. They were still competitive for no superstars. You look at the Nets. The Nets could have said, okay, the Nets look and they say, oh, let's just be competitive. They landed Kyrie and they landed KD. That's what you do. You look at the Miami Heat. They were like, all right, let's just be competitive. You see, they got Jimmy Butler. Now they're going to be in line for Giannis. At some point, that's what you need to do. The Clippers, they were like, they didn't have any superstars. They still competed. They landed Paul George and Kawhi. At some point, you need to at least compete and team see that something is growing in that on your team, and that's when superstars are going to come. Just sucking and having salary cap space. That's called being a cheap owner. That's all I mean. That's called an owner just trying to save money. He's saying if he's not going to win the championship, he doesn't care. And I think if you're going to be that kind of owner, you don't need to be an owner in the NBA.